So I did this already. I did this um video already with the audio, but the audio messed up, so now I'm doing it again. But this time I think it'll be more precise. Last time I didn't I didn't get to some of the things after I read it over, after I listened to it over again. But yeah, so this is going to be a review of Ant-Man Quantumania. The other one I did was so bad. So bad. The audio was bad, the focus was bad. It was all terrible. So, but not this one. This one will be good. So the first thing about this movie, right? Now we're gonna do a precise. Now that I listened to my last one, I'm gonna do a precise this time. First, gonna talk about the setting. Okay, setting overall, good. But there's some moments that looked really weird. Some of the monsters in this movie, some of the things they're writing, didn't look up to snuff. You know what I mean? Didn't look that great. There were moments where I was like, that was okay. I think the best looking thing in this movie for me was so there's a cantina scene, right, where Hank they all get together and there's a cantina scene. I'll get to it, but there's a guy's face, so I almost can't even describe it. It's like paper ripping off of his head, and that looked really cool. I gotta say, a lot of the people did look pretty good. The guy, they made a holes joke with this one jelly dude because he doesn't have any holes in his body, even though this is a family movie. They're making holes references. Like in the beginning he says I can read your mind, and he's like or something like, what oh, the guy asked how many holes do you have because he's a human, and he goes 7, and then they think, and then Hank is like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm like, that's a weird joke for a family movie, but yeah, the writing in this movie isn't that great. So setting overall of this movie, it looked great. And that's one of the things that I always say about every Marvel movie, is that it looks pretty good. You know what I mean? This one, I don't know if great is the right word. It looked, I don't know, not subpar. I wouldn't say subpar, like I was in the movie the whole time thinking like, oh, this is like the worst looking thing ever. But it was definitely, I don't know, wasn't as great as the other ones. The other Marvel movies, it didn't look that great. I would say the best looking one to me so far, I guess, to where I'm comparing like the best, the one with probably the most CGI, I guess except the Thor movie, was what's it called, Black Panther? No, what am I thinking of? The first Doctor Strange movie, that looked good. That looked really cool. The second one, there were some moments, but I guess that's like the range I'm going for when I'm saying like, how good it looks. So base it off of that. It looked okay. It looked good. It's a Marvel movie, so it looks good. The characters looked good. Everything looked nice. So move on from that. The writing in this movie was not that great. The problem with the writing in this movie is, number one, I looked up who did it afterwards, which all the time I don't do all the time, but then sometimes I do, and it's the Rick and Morty writer. Some of this writing is not funny. Not that show's not funny, but some of it doesn't work for this movie. However you wanna. Yeah, I don't know how to put that, but it doesn't work for this movie. There are these like quick funny moments, that are taking place a lot of the time between the Hank's daughter and the bad guys, or Ant-Man's daughter and the bad guys. Not the Ant-Man's daughter and the bad guy. I'm forgetting what the daughter's name is. She's supposed to be in the Young Avengers, and she's so, I wouldn't even say forgettable in this movie. She's so like not. I think she might need another movie before she gets in the Young Avengers. It's like, bro, she's not Young Avengers material. She barely, I don't know, her acting was off. Maybe they had reshoots or something, but her acting was off in this. And then she's going straight to the Young Avengers after this. I still feel like we have more to do with Ant-Man and the Wasp, like, Hope, what she's doing. You would honestly be confused. You're like, wait, she's not in the Avengers, but he is, Ant-Man. there are moments where you do realize why Ant-Man is in the Avengers, mostly because, he's like, because out of all of them, he's supposed to be like that guy with no powers, really, and like the human side of the Avengers, I guess Captain America kind of is too, but Ant-Man is usually played for like laughs and the human side a little bit, while Cap isn't really for laughs too much. You get what I'm saying? So, it's funny. I've never met anyone that said that they read Ant-Man comics, ever. And I talk to people who read comics, and I can't remember the last time someone was like, you get that new Ant-Man? Well, no, actually, that's not true. They did, but it was an omnibus of an older Ant-Man series. So, like, new Ant-Man stuff, MODOK was completely changed. His origin, I had to look it up. I was like, wait, am I, like, getting MODOK confused? I didn't think MODOK had anything to do with Ant-Man, and he doesn't. He is, his origin has changed, his, like, priorities as a villain is completely changed. He has nothing to do with the quantum realm. He is a lot meaner and not as like self-doubting as he was in this movie. I don't know. His MODOK's character in this movie is odd. I don't get it. I don't get MODOK in this movie. I don't know why they changed him. He has nothing to do with the quantum realm. He's got nothing to do with Kang. Yeah, but weird. And his ending sucked. I was like, this is the end of MODOK? He was introduced in a way he's not supposed to, and ended in like a, damn, so we're never going to see him again, so that's it? Yeah, I don't know. That was weird. I don't know why that whole MODOK's hard to do right, but this was wrong. Let's move on to actually Kang now that we're in the villain side. Kang was good. Jonathan Majors, he did a good job as Kang. I really liked him. He was good as Kang. Now Kang in himself, the character, the actor that played MODOK was okay too. It wasn't like a bad actor. It's just odd MODOK characterization. They were closer. Kang got a closer characterization to the comics than MODOK did by far. But also Kang was underpowered in this movie. Did not do a lot of time travel. We didn't see him use his ship at all, literally at all. We saw him open a portal at the very end, but not with his ship. They, the Ant family did it. He was very underpowered. I wanted him to be like the comics, like he was just like pulling, weapons out of like future places and tech, and then like pausing time, and then because he, a lot of people, I think if you saw this movie and you didn't know him as a character, you might think like he doesn't have the time travel capabilities like he does in the comics. Like in the comics, like I said, he can, his big thing is time travel, constantly doing, constant time travel. And one of the things is that he can, if someone punches him and he does get hit, he could go back a second, anticipate the punch, miss, and hit him, and he can also bring weapons from any time period ever, so that's why he's a threat. But if you saw this movie, you would not think Kang was too much of a threat, like, oh, he can go back in time. But so highly underpowered. And if you didn't know Kang from the comics, also there's a good Kang comic that came out last year, like late last year, that was really good. It's really good. You should read it. I forgot the name of it is, but I didn't buy it because it was too expensive for me right now. So I watched Comics Explains of it. It is what it is. I can't buy and read every comic. It's too much money. But so Kang was underpowered, and I would say, that's the thing. I don't want to say Kang was mid in this movie. His power set was mid in this movie, but his attitude was there and the acting was there. So yeah, but underpowered for sure. So let me skip to the end just because we're talking about Kang. So in the end of this movie, Kang opens the portal, right? They all jump through. Oh no, I'm sorry. The Ant family. I think the older guy, Hank Pym. Not Ant-Man. I'm forgetting what Ant-Man's name is. I'm forgetting the two. The Hank Pym is the old man, and then the younger guy I'm gonna call, the actual Ant-Man from the Avengers. I'm just gonna call Ant-Man, and his daughter. I know Hope. I know that name just because he said it like 10 times in this movie. I think they really wanted you to know her name was Hope. They said it like, they didn't say his real name, I guess a couple times. I don't know. They said dad, because the daughter called her, whatever. But, so at the end of this movie, the Ant family opens up a portal to go back. After they fall in here, they get stuck in the quantum realm, shenanigans happen. Kang wants to capture them. No, Kang wants Ant-Man to go get something for him. Ant-Man, of course, doesn't want to, but Kang has his daughter, so he has to go do it. Eventually, Kang gets it, right? They fight, and then the Ant family gets it back. That's the whole summary. And then when they get the power back, when they get that power orb that Kang wanted Ant-Man to steal for him, once the Ant family has it, they open up the portal. At the very end, the portal's open. The two old people jump through. The daughter jumps through. And then right at the end, Ant-Man does not jump through because he sees Kang, and he pushes his daughter into the thing right before Kang gets there and pushes Ant-Man out the way. And so they're fighting while the portal's open. And the whole time, there's several moments where Kang beats the hell out of Ant-Man. Just completely, he's on the floor, he's bloody, he's bleeding, and he's like stepping on his helmet. And there's multiple times where I'm like, you're done. Go turn around and get to the portal. There's multiple times where Kang is legit just slowly walking and talking over Ant-Man after hitting him on the floor. And Ant-Man's like on the ground like this, and talking to him back. I'm like, what are you doing? The portal's open. I'm like, the whole time I'm like, are we so at a point with these movies that like they don't even try to make it not like, they didn't even try to make it like, it's hard for Kang to get in the portal right now. There's a moment where Ant-Man is just on the ground bleeding after Kang hit him with the portal wide open, and on the other side of the portal they can't see. On the other side of the portal they're literally yelling, come back, come into the portal, where's Dad? I'm like, they're right there. Everything is like in his hands. It was really baffling. I was like, wow. So they're not even trying to make it like look like it was hard for him to get into the portal. It's just open. Ant-Man is just on the ground bleeding after getting beat up. His helmet is broken, and the portal's just open behind Kang. That's why I didn't like the characterization about Kang in that moment, because in the comics, Kang would have taken that moment quick as hell. He would not have even talked over him like that. He would have just jumped in the portal. So that was kind of frustrating. And I get that he's the evil Kang, and I read online, I'm like, well, he's in the quantum realm and his powers aren't there. I'm like, why is no one else was underpowered in this movie? MODOK, they gave him all his powers. They gave him, he's running around, and even he got beat by the girl. I think she just like hit him out the air or something. Kang in the end of this was, and then at the end, I thought it was going to be a great ending. I was like, okay, they're doing this ending because Ant-Man says, I don't have to win, we both have to lose. And I thought, this is going to be good. They're going to both get stuck in there, because the whole time, the whole movie is leading up to this doing time narrative, right? The daughter gets arrested twice, which, by the way, it's very, I don't like to pull the word, but it's very like privilegey when she gets arrested, because like they like just don't care. And I get what they're saying. They're like, well, she got arrested for the right reason, because she got arrested for helping out a protest, whatever it is, being against the cops in a protest. So, whatever it is. And she's been arrested 3 times. And now, even if I had a daughter, right, and she was arrested 3 times, even for doing the right thing, I'd be like, maybe you're doing it the wrong way. It was like so glossed over. I'm like, that's a very like, again, privilegey thing. I didn't like how easily they just like gloss over the fact that she went to prison 3 times, and also Ant-Man went to prison 3 times, but he's like in his 40s, and she's like supposed to be like what, early 20s, maybe 19, I think they said. I'm like, I don't know, going to prison 3 times by the time you're 19, even if it's for doing the right thing. Maybe you're doing it the wrong way. I don't know. That seemed like super like no one cared. They're like, so you just went to prison now. You just got locked up for a night or two. I'm like, I don't know. That seems, you guys really gloss over your daughter being arrested, And I thought at the end, I'm like, oh, this is it. Hank is going to do the time for doing the right thing and keeping Kang here, so he doesn't go destroy other universes and stuff, which didn't happen. What did happen at the end was that the Wasp comes through and then saves Ant-Man, saves Ant-Man, and then Kang gets sucked into his own power device that he had created. I don't know how that makes any sense. The first time they blow it up in this movie, it turns into like this big weird explosion. It's like this crystallized explosion basically. But this time when they blow it up, he gets sucked in. So the first time they blow it up, it like turns into this. You got to see the picture of, but it turns into like this big crystallized explosion, right? That's like stuck in time. So weird. That was odd. Yeah, this movie's writing was bad. The jokes did not land. I know because there was this dude who was like, oh my god, he started off coughing everywhere. Great, which is nice in a movie theater. And then his dumb ass was like laughing at every trailer that was coming through before. So I'm like, okay, this guy is like, he's the Marvel, he's basically the perfect archetype for people who laugh at Marvel jokes. He's doing that ha ha ha, like that fake powered push laugh through your chest that's like so like annoying. Oh my god. And he must have eaten like $200 of food. It's movie theaters aren't cheap food, and he's like, him and his girlfriend were eating like a meal. I'm like, great. And he was like laughing the whole time, and he laughed at the trailer for there's a fourth one coming out. What's it called? It's Keanu Reeves in the fourth movie. I don't know. You guys know what it is. The fourth one coming out, whatever it is. God, there was one. The best one of those was him versus Common. That was great. The whole Common chasing fight. I forgot that was. I think that was the second one. And that was good. I'm really escaping the name of those movies series. Whatever, Keanu Reeves. At the end of this trailer, the fourth one, there's a dog. Keanu Reeves like looks down at the dog, and this guy did. No one else laughed in the theater. This guy did the most annoying, loud ass laugh. So I'm like, all right, great. This is gonna be the guy that fucking laughs at everything in this Marvel movie, because that's what people like that do. And he didn't laugh at all. That's when I knew these jokes were ass, and these jokes were these Marvel movies weren't I don't know, getting any better, because he didn't laugh at all. I was like, wow, no one in my theater did. I was like, I'm surprising. They're most of the time they're about like a couple of idiots in a Marvel movie that'll laugh at all their jokes, but radio silence in this one. So yeah, it was interesting. What else about this movie? The Wasp was good. Like I said, she was better than I think anyone else in this movie. She was like a real superhero that seemed like she wanted to get things done. Everyone else seemed like they didn't care. Also, here we go. Here's the last thing. When they first land, Ant-Man and his daughter land, they find a community, right? A village. The daughter, gets mad at Ant-Man for not wanting to help. But when they landed, they got separated from their mother and their grandparents. So it's just Hank and his daughter. And then, so the daughter is more concerned. And I get that she's supposed to be like a teenager and she like doesn't know what's right and what's wrong. But she just landed and she's more concerned with helping this random group of people in the quantum realm where she's never been and knows nothing about. She's more concerned with helping these people out that she just found than going to find her own mother. That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense. Imagine you get sucked into the quantum realm. That she did, by the way. It's all her. This is all her fault. You get sucked in, and then she's like mad at Ant-Man for not helping, but she doesn't want to look. She imagine landing there and wanting to help this. You know nothing about. You just learned their language. You know nothing about this, right? And you're more concerned with helping this random group of people out that, you clearly need help, but you're more concerned about that than finding your own mother? That writing to me doesn't make sense. She should have at least said, well, how long do you think it'll take to get her? Or something like that. She didn't care at all. Ant-Man was completely right in that situation. He was like, we gotta leave and regroup. And the dog was like, no, we gotta stay and help. You're a bad person if you don't help. What? We need help. That was weird to me. I was like, what? She's more concerned with helping this random group she just found out. She knows nobody here. She knows no one of the politics. She knows nothing of the politics. She knows nothing about what's going on, and is more concerned with that than finding her own mother that could be dead, and maybe not even dead, just lost like you are. That was weird. I was like, you're more concerned with this than finding your own mother, finding your own grandmother and grandpa. I don't buy it. That's not how even a teenager that's like moody and like always is a contrarian, wants to do the opposite, which sure, I was like that. We're all like that as teenagers. But I don't remember a moment where I would want to save this random alien race I've just found out about than finding my own mom. That makes no sense to me. That was odd writing. I was like, there's no way she's actually concerned more with these people. There's no way. But the movie said it, so yeah. Overall, mid. The worst of the Ant-Man movies? No, because of Kang. I would say it's the best one. They're all bad. All the Ant-Man movies suck ass. Yeah, that was it. I give it overall I actually don't do number scores. I give it that's it. If you've seen the other ones, you might want to see this one. The end credit scene was awesome. The Council of Kangs is coming. Very cool. And yeah, every Ant-Man movie though has a good end credit scene because they know you don't care. They know we don't care. Even Kevin Feige, if you watch interviews of him talking about this movie, he doesn't want to talk about this movie. He just moves on. He literally wants to talk about more of the future of, the big picture than the actual movie coming out. So, yeah. But that's it. Thanks for watching.